To celebrate the release of the long-awaited sequel to Twister, I thought it would be a great time to look at that original 1996 film and figure out what makes it so great and so much of a masterpiece. Honestly, it's pretty much a perfect film in my opinion. But let's take a look at the original 1996 Jan de Bont film, Twister.
Tighten your seatbelt.
Honestly, I love Twister. This was one of the movies that raised me. I grew up watching this at my aunt and uncle's house all the time, and as an actor, it's definitely one of the films that formed me and, gave me a love of film from a very, very young age. I apparently would even quote the film from time to time, but have no idea because I'm literally 5. But I love this film. So let's break down why I think Twister is such a perfect movie. I know whenever I talk to people about it, it gets them physically excited. And that's how I feel when talking about Twister. So let's get into it. Why I think Twister works so well is 3 things. 1, the cast. I think this is such an amazing, well-cast film. One of the best cast films in Hollywood in general, in film history. I think the chemistry between Bill Paxton and Helen Hunt is amazing. You really buy those two as a couple, and you get to watch them rekindle their relationship throughout the film, and you get to discover why they fell in love with each other, why they're so perfect for each other. And I think that extends to every character in the film. You have this group of storm chasers that honestly feel so real and so well cast. You got Philip Seymour Hoffman, and he's amazing as Dusty. He's one of my favorite characters in the film. And I think to this day, everybody in that cast, it's just so well done. It was so well cast. You got Jamie Gertz, Alan Ruck. It's just so... It was such a well cast film, and you believe each person as their characters. You buy this team of storm chasers that love what they do and get physically excited and blast music while storm chasing. It's so fun. And I just thought that's one of the many reasons as to why Twister works. Number 2 is the story. I think Twister is such a human story at the end of the day. Yes, it is this big, bombastic blockbuster film with, action sequences and explosions and all these big set piece moments. But at the heart of it, it's such a human story. Yes, it's about tornadoes. Yes, it's about storm chasing. But at the end of the day, it's about this couple rekindling their relationship and the relationships around them, and how this life of storm chasing affects people and how they're trying to navigate life, but also navigate life with each other. And I just think that's a very human element. It's a very relatable element, and I think that's another reason as to why Twister works so well. Number 3 is the soundtrack. You could not talk about Twister without talking about the soundtrack. I love when the visual medium of film is paired with music, and I think when you get the right visuals and the right music, it's a recipe for lightning in a bottle. It's amazing. And I think Twister has so many sequences where the soundtrack, not only benefits, but enhances the film. The humans being seen alone of them, driving through the countryside, I physically get excited watching that scene because the music's blasting, they're chasing storms, and it's just a recipe for, just a good time. Also, this movie has amazing set pieces and action sequences. That first Twister scene alone with, Joe's truck and them stuck in the ditch and everything, that was burned into my mind as a little kid of being this is so cool.
Funnel getting thicker. It's moving fast. Coming towards you, Joe.
You know what I mean? And it's still one of my favorite scenes to this day. And I think the other thing that Twister does really well is balancing action sequences with a really great, emotional heart to the film. Some of my favorite scenes in Twister have nothing to do with twisters or with, storm chasing. It's the human element in the film. One of the greatest, I think, acting scenes of all time is that scene of Bill and Joe up on the hill. And, you know, we find out the reason why she's so obsessed with tornadoes and, you know, the kind of the trauma that's established in the beginning of the film and how that's affected her all these years later.
What's wrong with you? We can still do this!
Jesus Christ, listen to yourself, you're obsessed!
You've never seen what that thing can do, so don't talk to me about it! You've never seen it! You've never seen it miss this house, and miss that house, and come after you!
Christ, Joe, is that what you think it did?
And I think that's a beautifully acted scene. I think it's a beautifully scored scene, beautifully shot scene. Again, there's amazing scenes in Twister that encapsulate all the best parts of it, which again is the acting, the filmmaking, and the music. And I think this film, as I said, I think Twister is a damn near perfect film. And I just love looking back at this film. I love rewatching it every year. I throw it on every once in a while. And I just have a really big heart for this film. It still holds up to this day, and very few movies from the late 90s, especially like a disaster film, you know, like Twister, you know, rarely do they hold up. And I think it's a testament to the quality of filmmaking at that time and, you know, just this amazing film that perfectly captures the 90s blockbuster, but it's all the good parts about it. You have an amazing cast, the soundtrack is amazing, the story is amazing, and I think when you mix all those things together, it creates the perfect storm, if you will, that is Twister. What are my hopes for the long-awaited sequel, Twisters? I think this movie has a lot to live up to. As a huge Twister fan myself, you know, I'm rooting for this movie. I want it to be good, and initial reactions are good. I'm seeing the movie opening day, and this video comes out opening day to celebrate Twisters and the legacy of Twister, and I really hope it does well. I hope it captures the look and feel of the original. I think for Twisters to succeed, it has to nail those three things: cast, story, and music. And so far in the ad campaign and everything, they're nailing that. They have a really likable cast in Glenn Powell and Daisy Edgar Jones, and they're alluding to some amazing set pieces and a really great story. And the third, again, the music. We have Twisters, the album, so they knew, the fact that they knew kind of the cocktail of what worked for the original, that they had to bring that back for the sequel. We'll see how that's executed. I hope it's done well. You know, I'm very cautiously optimistic. But as for, you know, a look back on almost 30 years of Twister, and yes, this video very much is a love letter to the original Twister. I love that film so much. It's one of my top 5 films of all time. It's one of the movies that made me want to be an actor, you know, review films, create content like this for you guys. And Twister as a franchise has done a lot for my channel. You guys have given it, you know, my trailer reviews for Twisters, so many views. It's my Twister, I think my Twister trailer 2 video is my highest viewing video of all time on my channel right now, and I have you guys to thank for that, so thank you so much. And I wanted this video to be a love letter to Twister, and, you know, have it be this little celebration of what, you know, I think we as fans of Twister love about the film, and to highlight that. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys like this video, hit that like button, subscribe if you're new, and click that bell notifications to be notified every time I drop a video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.